Hi everyone. Good morning. I hope all of you are doing good. And so I used to get comments in multiple places, like even on Udemy and especially on YouTube, many times. Can you make a video about Activate methodology and what are the differences and all? It literally it took me a lot of time to speak to certain kind of experts who did 6, 7 implementations in Activate methodology as a project manager. And even I worked on one project with Activate methodology, and one other project, it's kind of a mixing. So when we are handling these kind of things, that as a consultant, when you are traveling in the project, when you're working in the project, the documentation, whatever you do as an SAP consultant, especially in the private cloud, on-premise, and ECC, these kind of areas, the differences are very less. But I want to convey, so definitely this topic will get one more part two, I can say, maybe after 1 year or 1.5 years. If I find some more important points, okay, if I find any few more important points related to that area, definitely I will come up with another part by adding few more inputs with Activate methodology, what all you can do it. And on Udemy, I will add in the same course as a next video, I will add it. And YouTube, I will upload directly. Okay, let us go through that topic, like what exactly this SAP methodology and Activate methodology, what are the key differences? Let us focus on this topic today. So SAP methodology, we explained, we have a detailed course on Udemy and on YouTube also, the detailed video is available to understand what are the steps available in SAP methodology. And it's a waterfall methodology, right? So how does company do that? What are the different steps are there? All those things we learn. I'm going to show you again also what are the steps, like project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, and then run and support. Okay, post go live, run, whatever the word we call. Okay, so in Activate methodology also we have different steps. Okay, like how we are making, for example, prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run. So I was trying to give few comparisons, but let's not get into that area. The people who are working completely on Activate methodology as a new consultant. So for those people, like what are the steps they do in the each phase? Okay, in the prepare phase, explore phase, and all, they learn it. But the main problem will happen for the people who already worked for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years with SAP methodology, and they are thinking that there are huge changes happen in Activate methodology, but ideally not much. Okay, so let us go through today. What are the things, each feature, and what are the differences? I'm going to tell you. Focus. So in SAP methodology, the primarily on-premise implementations, like I mentioned that in SAP methodology, on-premise. Like at that point of time in ECC, we had only on-premise. So it was mainly designed for on-premise related one, because the server setup and licensing, taking everything, those kind of things used to be available. When it comes to Activate methodology, it is designed for on-premise, cloud, and also hybrid implementations. So when it comes to this cloud, right, this licensing part will be completely different approach. Okay, so like we mentioned, like earlier, login based or FTE based. Okay, or else the module based payment. There are several differences are there. So you, based on the module, you pay for the licensing, or FTE based, how many users, for 500 users, how much? Okay, or else you're taking certain kind of a licensing, the module EWM, or else you're taking some in private cloud you're taking, but additionally you're taking some BTP related functionalities. So the licensing part was having certain differences here and there when it comes to SAP and Activate methodology, because Activate methodology is having cloud related, private cloud, public cloud, SAP BTP related thing, licenses. Okay, on-premise has is there, but down the line, mostly the on-premise things will be coming down. All the big companies go to private cloud, and mid or low level, mid also private cloud 50-50, and very small companies may go for the public cloud. So the licensing system and the focus areas and all are getting changed. Approach. SAP methodology is a waterfall model. and this is like a agile and iterative. So what exactly what is this agile? Okay. So for example, waterfall method means if the one project is total 1.5 years, the realization phase may be 5 months. So 5 months or 6 months. Individually, we used to have certain kind of segregation, like configuration and unit testing, this much phase. So unofficially, we used to split into that entire realization into few parts. Similar way, but when it comes to agile, they put it as a proper naming sprint. For example, entire realization, realize phase is there, right? That will be split into some 5 or 6 sprints. And also the project management try to ensure that each sprint will not cross 1 month so that the deliverable can be seen. And each sprint will have activities and the deliverables. What are the deliverables they are going to get in that sprint? So for example, entire realize phase, they might split into 6 sprints or 5 sprints, 4 sprint. The name, the sprint word is in Agile, it has come. But somewhat in waterfall model also, we were using that some micro level, we call like a work breakdown structure. So in the realization phase, okay, first 3 weeks, we have to complete entire system setup and do the UT. Okay, and next 4th week to 8th week, we have to do the system integration testing and roles creation. So like that, we used to do it. That was the name was called like a sprint. Okay, you have to divide into sprints like that. Okay, and the sprint concept also in public cloud might be possible for certain areas. Uh, I work for when I was working for one project, we have simultaneously Salesforce. We are SAP and they are Salesforce. For SAP, entire things were moved almost similar like a waterfall. Like we move, although we had a sprints, but the entire configuration setup, everything was moved during the go live, like final preparation time, like that. But that Salesforce used it to move the batches wise, they used to move to production. Okay, and in public cloud, it could be possible because there are many things, no configuration changes related ones, or no program, no customization things, right? So in public cloud, I believe we see more this agile and sprint related things. But when it comes to private cloud and on-premise, see, if I move my complete MM configuration or some basic configuration to SAP, what we can do? We need a SD, we need finance, okay, and all those things we have to move together. All those things we could put it into certain sprints. Okay, so at high level, the entire operations, how we are splitting into the phases. Okay, or else when you have 100 developments, even in waterfall also we used to do that. 100 developments means okay, P1 60, everything should go before go live, and some 25 go live to hypercare means within 2 months of the go live, after 2 months of the go live, and remaining 25 or 10 whatever pending, that can be given within 6 months. So like that also we used to split. That was is more systematic way it was happened in the agile methodology. So the differences, if you work for five, I work for some 7 8 implementations in SAP, right? So the differences I'm not seeing too much as a SAP consultant, but in Salesforce and all, they could see more. And even for SAP public cloud, I believe we'll see that one. Certain object they can move to the public cloud. At least the basic, they can get the purchase orders or those things. If they want little more functionalities, can be moved in sprint too. Might be they can plan because the project duration also very less, right? So they don't have too much coding, they have too many developments, customization. Okay, that could be one thing. What is the scope? So SAP methodology is comprehensive, covering the entire project life cycle. Okay, so general SAP methodology means we plan the entire, like from project paper blueprint to till go live. So when it comes to activate methodology, it's more flexible, adapting to project needs. So the project needs certain deliverables within 3 months, and certain things can be 6 months if they have certain things. The public cloud or less customization related, no ABAP programs and all certain things can be moved. Okay, but still when it comes to SAP, the visibility wise, the partial movement to production, running the business for certain areas, we need to really find certain areas only we can do like that, because we have interlinked. SAP is not a single product, right? It has interlinked to SD, MM, material management, production. Everyone needs all the modules. Without material, I cannot create a production order. Okay, and without sales organization, I cannot do an S2O process. It's all interlinked. So we have to move in a somewhat like a waterfall method, but the sprints will be helpful for the project management to segregate the work and see the deliverables. So if you want to achieve 100, okay, so how you are split into 25, 25. So for this 25, next 3 weeks, next one, 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, like that, you can plan the sprint based on the each phase of that activities, and the timeline also can be decided. All 25 doesn't need equal time, right? Certain 25 need more testing and all. That is that may be 3 weeks, another one is 2 weeks, another one is 4 weeks. Like that, you can plan. Phases wise, yeah, project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live, and support. These are the phases in SAP methodology. And when it comes to activate methodology, we have a prepare, explore, okay, realize, deploy, and run. Okay, so these are the phases, and I was trying to give some comparison also that you can see. Content, detailed and extensive documentation, leaner, focusing on essential deliverables. This statement is good to read in document as a real time. I'm mentioning whatever documentation we maintained in SAP methodology, the blueprint, KDS, or test scripts, function specifications. I see mostly we are also making in Activate, but in future, if I find certain kind of any key difference that these documents not valid anymore, I will definitely add a bytes to this video. But according to my current experience, and even I spoke to you like not only my experience, very little in Activate. So I spoke to few experts who have wide experience. They really literally they are not able to provide a strong differences. I was asking the question like, what was available in SF methodology which is not available in Activate? Can you give me 3 examples? We are making blueprint in both the cases, function specification, all those things are similar. So this content wise, not fully agreed as of now. Best practices. This is the major difference we can say. In SAP methodology, incorporated but less emphasized. So SAP methodology time, like in ECC, best practices as we see, but we are not that much focused by SAP to share in the multiple cases. But in Activate methodology means in on-premise, a private cloud, a public cloud. If you go to the SAP site, okay, even I provided earlier on YouTube and a few platforms like okay, how to find the best practices in SAP website. So those best practices also, we can see that I will keep that best practices link related video and link in the this PPT. Okay, I will upload the PPT in the Udemy course. You can go through that one. So those best practices will guide you that what are the SAP suggested steps. Only to refer. Okay, each client may have little 10 to 20%, 30% changes. So you cannot always use the same steps in everywhere, but most of the cases you will use the same. So I will keep the link so that you can go through that best practices. So in Activate methodology, actually it's not about the methodology. SAP itself introduced this best practices for each process and keeping in many things in public, few things in the private, but you need to log into the OSS Note ID to access those things. So that's a major difference. Now we have a lot of best practices and to identify what is the process step and all. Cloud readiness. In the SAP methodology time, the cloud is limited. It's almost like you can say negligible. You can say even we had worked on SAP methodology with S4 HANA server, but still it's database normal, everything is ECC. But here, when it comes to Activate methodology, it's designed for the cloud environments because public cloud, just take the license and pay how you are buying a subscription, right? Like that, you will take it. And almost no code related solutions are there. So the public cloud set up the system and move to quality for the UAT, then move to production. So those kind of things are available. Again, the sprint or agile, okay, these things are all come part of that. User experience, less emphasis on user experience. Yeah, now we are, a few people might complain that SAP GI screen is not that good and all, but the people who have been working for last 25, 30 years and all, many people are like they're comfortable with SAP GUI screen. And few might complain because of the regularly when you open an email, when you open a website to check it, everything you are opening in a web, right? Web or the cloud related look. So if you're doing similar kind of look in the in your office work premises also, people might be more familiar. Okay, so that is the one. The user experience was centric and promotion adoption. So the promoting adoption is there, but the adoption wise, how many people like the Fury apps, cloud and all, and few people still like the GUI. But of course, the more percentage wise, you can say people who wanted to use in these the links, cloud related things could be more appreciable because of the UI experience and which we are familiar, and completely we are doing that kind of opening websites and all in our regular work also, whether it's a banking or personal or professional things. Flexibility, less adaptable to changes, agile and accommodating changes. So this part also, we don't have a proper example that what kind of changes it will adopt. But one thing I was mentioning again and again, if we have these kind of agile approach with sprint things, okay, so you can segregate the work into pieces and how you can deliver it. So summary wise, SAP is a traditional structured methodology suitable for on-premise projects that requires extensive planning and documentation. Activate a modern, flexible methodology, embracing cloud and hybrid deployments, focusing on agility, best practices, and user experience. So agility is more into that sprint, how we are segregating the work and do it. Best practices, SAP release the best practices for the processes and all. The consultant has to go through and try to fit into the best practices as much as they can, so that the customization will be reduced. User experience of Fury apps. As of now, we are always logging into GUI, but in Activate methodology, like in the cloud, you can log into the tiles, Fury tiles, and already released this SAP mobile start. You can access things into the app also. Additional considerations wise, Activate is a successor to SAP. That's what, like, from SAP. That's why I'm telling, like, when Activate comes, the all good things in SAP, and most of the process steps look similar. It may be 70%, 80%, 60%, what are the percentage, but it is a successor to SAP and designed to accommodate an evolving landscape of SAP implementations. Both methodologies can be customized to suit specific project requirements. Choosing the right methodology depends on factors like project scope, complexity, environment, or whether it is public environment or on-premise, like public, private, cloud or on-premise, and organization preferences. Based on these things, we have to consider it. So I was trying to make few comparison. You don't say like it is exactly, because it's very difficult to put it also. So in SAP methodology and Activate and SAP methodology, in Activate we have a discover and prepare. Okay, the previous slide, discover is not given because it's very initial stage certain activities. So if you say those pages, it looks like our project preparation, but few prepare activities are available, which we did do in business blueprint phase. Then explore. So explore is like looking like a business blueprint. We finalizing all the processes, finalizing all what kind of systems you are going to use it, and those things will be finalized. So some of the little bit activities in prepare and explore are related to business blueprint. Next one is realize, and the realization in SAP here realize. This is almost similar, I believe. So it's you can do that config testing, moving changes to system, and then do the integration testing, system integration testing, regression testing, all those things happen. The deploy, see, it's almost look like a final preparation. Like in realize, realization, and some part of final preparation also is being done in realize. Okay, so deploy means we move all changes to the production system. We also do the same thing in the go live time. We move it. The cutover, all those activities will happen in deploy. So realize, realization plus little part of final preparation, and deploy little part of final preparation, and then go live, the cutover and all those things. And the run will be that ongoing support. So this comparison will give you an idea. Like I mentioned, that it's not 100% equal, and don't get into that kind of a wrong understanding that, okay, this phase and this phase are exactly equal. No. So the blueprint, whatever activities happen, like kickoff, as is, to be discussions, BPT preparation, sign off, gap list, identification to list out how many developments are required, KDS, and configuration, whether it's a plant, a company board, for us like purchasing organization, document type, all those information will be available. Realization, a realize phase will be done, that configuration, unit testing, then start development, writing FS and give to ABAP, and they will make the changes or new creation of programs and system integration testing. Okay. And cutover related programs also we have to start making in realization, because most of the cases 80%, 70% of data will come during UAT time. So we need that customization things also. So this creation of upload programs we can do in well in advance during UAT time also. Okay. So testing of upload programs, upload of master data. That's why these activities and few activities will happen. Realization and final preparation are closely connected. So certain activities will come and overlapping might happen. So all the master data cut over in update in production. Then the day-to-day entries start entering. So and go live. The business will do the first transaction officially, the live date. Okay. So last 1 week they might be done the overlapping activities, but this is the official one which will happen on the go live date. Okay. The any cooling period 1 week or so 1 day or a few hours, that also will be considered to do the activity. So this is about the differences between SAP and Activate. As a consultant, if you have a strong command on SAP methodology, you don't have to think too much about Activate, because you can adopt the changes quickly. Okay, if you don't know SAP methodology steps and all, let's leave SAP aside and directly learn Activate. It is the terminologies will not make you confused. Whatever terminologies available in Activate, the same thing you are going to learn and you are going to apply in your projects. Thanks for your time. I hope I tried my best to provide you certain kind of differences between SAP and Activate, and to compare and how the activities are going to happen. If I get any similar kind of a concept, or at least for the same concept, if I learn some new points or I understand it must be helpful to all the members, definitely I will make it maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or 10 minutes video. I will make it and upload in the same course. Thank you. Then we can end up the session.